Secretary of State and Fox News contributor. Great to see you this morning.
Great to be with you here.
You have been all around the globe. You know how these things work. What's your take on where we are today? Some countries coming forward, China doubling down, and now the EU.
Yeah, I'm unsurprised by that division. Most of the countries want to come lower their barriers in response to what President Trump did, but the Chinese taking a very aggressive posture. That was my experience as Secretary of State as well. They are an adversary, and the Europeans are friends and partners, right? Very different situation. I'm hopeful that President Trump's mission set is to get these tariffs to go away, right? To get access for American farmers. I'm from Kansas, to get American farmers the ability to sell stuff into Asia and into Europe in ways that they have been prevented from doing. That would be a good purpose, a good objective for these tariffs. But I'm also not, when we talk about collecting more revenue, it's like I'm not a big government guy. Like, I like less revenue for our federal government. I want a smaller, more limited U.S. government than the one that we have today. And I know President Trump and his DOGE team do as well.
Absolutely. Let's dig in a little bit about China. And so President Trump goes to 104, China goes to 84. I actually was surprised they didn't match. And look, I'm not trying to be either pessimistic or optimistic. I just know them to be someone who, as you described, is almost an enemy. You were gracious with, they're not our friends,
I'll go with
and they're adversaries. But they feel like an enemy. The COVID pandemic made me think they're enemies.
Amen. Look, I'm a little surprised, too. They're clearly testing. It does, as I think Secretary Bessent said earlier, it does impact their economy more than it impacts ours. They will feel this first and more. And so they're probably looking to see if they can't back President Trump down. But they are the ones that instigated this problem over the last 40 years. They've been at war with the American economy for 40 years, stealing our stuff, dumping product into America, hurting American manufacturing. And so it's unsurprising that now this tariff regime is going to end up pretty focused on the conflict between the Chinese Communist Party and free market, free trade believers all across the world.
What about the Chinese people?
They'll be net losers in this. I'm not sure that Xi Jinping gives a rip about his own people. He wants to stay in power for sure, but he's not worried about their livelihoods. He's just worried about what his stated objective is, which is to corrode the Chinese empire. And he's been hard at that, and I'm glad that President Trump is pushing back against it.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, it's not a shocker that they would do this, but there is a lot at stake for them, too. Formerly directing the CIA, you know a little bit about what they'll do to us in terms of intellectual property and all of that. Talk to me about where they can go.
So the Chinese Communist Party is very powerful. They have a very capable military. They have a capable space program. They've got a big nuclear weapons program.
We pray it would never come to that.
Yes, but we shouldn't forget that hard power is what backs up all these economic discussions as well. And so you saw, it was last week when they encircled Taiwan in an exercise. They are demonstrating that they have other tools with which